if I could like sum it up, my whole strategy is I buy and sell above external and internal liquidity at areas of interest that are in premium or discount. I try to make it very simple, right? Like I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a decade.
Hi guys, welcome to another TFT interview. Today we are doing a payout. You guys have asked for only payouts, so we're giving you the traders that are making money, that are profitable, that are consistent. And we want to kind of get an inside look at, okay, what are they doing? What is their strategy? What kind of pairs they're looking at? And what's kind of the similarities of profitable traders? So we'll go ahead and get right into it. Hi, I'm Tori. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Tori. I'm Meeran.
Hi, Meeran. Can you let everyone know where you're from and what got you into trading, just to kick us off?
Yeah, so originally I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, in the States.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I used to live out there. Let's keep going. Sorry.
Nashville's home for me, but I'm originally Kurdish. So this is actually where I was born. I'm in Kurdistan right now, which is northern Iraq area. I got into trading, honestly. I started a long time ago with penny stocks. Like this was around 2008. I was looking for a quick gimmick. And so a lot of people were doing the penny stock pump and dumps. I made money. I made a lot of money, but I also lost a lot of money. And then I went from teacher to teacher, guru to guru. I tried a lot of indicators, robots, Fibonacci moving averages, trend line. I tried a lot of things, right? And so the first thing I want to say is I want everybody to know, because I think in our industry right now, there's a lot of misinformation, right? But I think whether you're trading smart money concepts or liquidity or retail, both sides are making money. Like I just have to look, because I see a lot of people that are like trend lines don't work, Fibonacci's don't work. But I know people that are making a lot of money trading retail concepts, and it's because of risk management. I think a true trader, like what defines a trader at core is if you can manage risk. Because I'm in a nation, like I'm in Kurdistan right now. There's no regulations whatsoever. There's absolutely no regulations. Anybody can come and manage money. And so I'll see a lot of people, they're showing off their profits. They don't show off their losses. Just this year, we've had about $500 million liquidated through managements, right? Through money managers, because they've sold the dream, but they don't have certificates for like fund trader or prop firms, which honestly, the biggest thing for me is when you are a funded trader, I feel like you have that certificate that says, hey, I know how to manage your money. Your deposit is safe with me. Forget the profits, right? I think if you're in the business long enough, you can learn to profit. But a lot of people forget, like the entire, the whole goal of investing, right? It's to protect. You're trying to protect the deposit, the investment.
That's my number one. Absolutely.
Right? I think a lot of people get so caught up, especially with social media nowadays. They see big profits. A lot of them are Photoshop. A lot of them are demo accounts. And I used to actually own a brokerage. So I know there's a lot of things you can do to make it look like you're profitable. Okay, we've had traders who've sold the dream through demo accounts. And then somebody has given them millions of dollars to manage, and they've liquidated it all. So it's like, for me, I went through a lot of teachers, but eventually it's crazy. I saw ICT at first, and I was going through his videos. This was like in 2011. This was a while ago. And I'm like trying to like look at ICT, and I'm like, man, what is this guy talking about? His stuff was difficult. It really was. So after a lot of blown accounts, after a lot of, trading strategies, 2015, 2016, I started really digging deep in. And I think timing is everything. I think if I would have started in 2011, it would have been a little over my head, right? But once I came into like 2016, I was more experienced. I knew more terminology. I was more educated in the business. And then once I got into charter membership, I've been a profitable trader since 2018. So it's like 4 years, going on 5 years, where I'm making a living trading. Like I said, I had told you earlier, I'm managing millions here in Kurdistan, but then I also got the prop firm here. And it's like, I honestly, like, if I didn't know those concepts, I don't know where I would be today. I really don't know where I'd be. So it's like, I learned smart money concepts. I trade only liquidity now. So it's like I'm buying or selling above stop losses. I don't really use supply zones, order blocks. I don't use any of that. I'm strictly buying and selling under external and internal liquidity.
All right. Fair enough. Very cool. Okay. So then you've got quite a resume when it comes to trading. So you owned a brokerage, you're with smart money concepts, and you've been you've actually been kind of in that process of learning it for what, years now, I guess, and kind of mastering it. It seems like an ever evolving kind of thing there.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning. You know, one thing I always tell my friends, I'm a profitable trader now, right? So it's like a lot of people, that's the goal, right? They're like, man, I want to make profits, right? But what things I have learned through through Michael Huddleston is he teaches you to be a money manager. He really does. And so a lot of the things I'm doing right now, they're long term. Like this year on my investment accounts, I made a killing off of corn and wheat. And just think about our industry. Nobody's buying corn and wheat futures, right? But that's where the opportunity was. And so, I just think you got to continue to learn. And even now, I think there's some extremely brilliant traders. I'm still buying education courses, right? I'm buying, the inducement strategies that are in play right now, the trap traders, the supply. I'm in those education courses, but I do have to stress, it's so important because I haven't I profited, I got a good payout, but honestly, to my standards, I was performing horribly, right? And part of that is because I'm trying to mix ICT with advanced liquidity theorem, which I don't have the experience of, right? So I try to tell people, don't overstretch yourself going into all these new, it's so easy to be lured away by somebody that's promised you 1 to 100 risk to reward ratios. But what I've learned, honestly, 90% of the time they're selling you a dream. It looks good on Instagram. It looks good on social media. But once you get in the markets, it's a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely. Okay. So then what's your advice this is great. So what's your advice for kind of the new traders so you have experience kind of trying to implement different strategies, going through plenty of strategies. You're still learning now. You're still trying new strategies now. What is your advice for new traders? I feel like some of them aren't able to quite process or have that discretion to see, okay, I need to maybe just try this one, give it its due diligence. Then if all else fails, I can try another one. What's your advice for kind of the strategy hopping, the implementing different strategies? What's your look on that?
So I would definitely say for startup traders, right? For startup traders, I definitely think you should look into smart money concepts. But when I say smart money concepts, I'm telling you, stay away from supply and demand, not supply and demand, imbalances and liquidity, which is like an ICT thing. On his YouTube channel, he has a lot of those stuff for free, right? But these are difficult things to learn. I always try to stress people, you're not going to learn trading the markets in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, right? For me, believe me, a lot of the trading setups that I have are pure mess on me. I've seen them so many times. I can get on a chart and I can't always tell you if I'm going to buy and sell and I'll be profitable, but I will tell you direction. And the daily bias is so important. So I try to tell people the first thing you want to master is the higher time frame, right? This is so important for people because you got to know, because I've done this, right? I know as a startup trader, when I would win, I'm getting out early, right? And when I would lose, I would hold my loss, right? And when you hold your losses against the higher time frame, your account gets liquidated, right? I don't want people making the same mistake. That's why I say learn higher time frame, because I know a lot of the younger traders, they're either going to move the stop or they're going to hold on to that trade, right? And the account's going to get liquidated. And believe me, it is a burden you will go through. It really messes up the psychology, right? You start getting afraid of taking setups. I want everybody to know you're going to take losing trades. I take losing trades, right? The ultimate game is we're playing probabilities, right? We're looking at the same setups, right? The same things that we've seen over and over, and we're hoping that they happen again based on what they did before. That's it. There's no guarantee. We're not sure about it, but that's all we're doing. Whatever strategy you have, this is it. And because honestly, there's no, I just think there's been enough people in the markets far more successful than I am, right? Have way more experience than I do, right? If there was something that was 1000% exact, it would have been here already, right? I mean, you can even talk about the biggest hedge funds in the world, right? I always see people trying to sell robots, and I'm like, bro, if your robot is so successful, you wouldn't need to sell it. You can flip the money and the investment over and over, right? I mean, think about it. If I had a robot that hits every single time, right? I can turn $100 into a million into a billion, right? It's the same thing over and over and over. That's what I try to do. Don't aim for perfection, right? You don't need to aim for perfection. Just learn liquidity concepts, learn it. And it comes to time and price. There are certain times you need to be in the market. London Open Asian range gives you what the market is going to do. It shows you the liquidity, the market makers, whether you want to call them market makers, whether you want to call them liquidity providers, whether you want to call them the central banks. There's a lot of names that go around in the industry, but you need to know Asian session. That gives you that's the first time in the day where you can be like, okay, this is a hint as where the market's going to go for the day, right? And I really try to tell people, the longer you're in the market, the more likely you are to lose, right? You don't need to be taking 100 trades. You don't need to be taking 10 trades. When you have a winning day, especially like if you get, let's say like you took 2 trades out of the day and you profit, that is enough. That is enough. Believe me. So yeah, that's like for, startup traders, I was just, don't aim for the sky. Real value is built over time. It's just anything, like just look at anything. Like look at crypto right now. Crypto flew up to the moon, right? Flew up to the moon and everybody got in. And, I'm in Kurdistan. So there's like crypto enthusiasts, right? Because it's a nation that doesn't have a banking system, right? And I'm over here on Instagram and in my groups hollering out, guys, we're at 69,000. This isn't a good place to buy. And people are criticizing you, right? And they're buying the dips on the way down, right? They're not understanding, like, dude, we have reached the top here. We're going to at least go back to discount, right? And so, it comes to 50,000, they're buying the dip. It comes to 40,000, they're buying the dip. And they're sending these signals out to thousands of people that literally have, Kurdistan, there's so much cash. There's so much cash. Like, it's not where in the States. In the States, you have credit, right? But in Kurdistan, you have people that are putting $100,000 on Bitcoin futures on one trade, right? And you have large amounts. So people are like, a lot of times it got on the news. That's why I try to tell people, anything real in life takes time. Anything that is going to stand for a long time takes time. Anything that comes easy goes easy. Like in anything that you can, honestly, even if you're working out, if it comes easy, it's going to go easy.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. And I feel like I align in so many ways and so many concepts that you've got. And as far as the new traders go, not trying to aim for the stars here. We're just looking to just keep our capital. That should be just the first thing. Just keep what you have. Just get involved in the market. And if you're able to just keep that capital, then you're on a great start. Because that's Absolutely. The hardest part right there. So then the next question would be your idea on prop firms. So how you found prop firms and then how you found TFT specifically, and then kind of your experience with us.
Okay, so I was actually following y'all way back, a year and a half ago, right? The page wasn't half as big as it was now. I was already funded at another prop firm and I had an affiliate there. The problem was the deposits were such a headache. Forget the withdrawals, the deposits, right? So multiple times, so you would pay with crypto, right? Because I'm in Iraq, we don't have banking system. It's all cash or crypto. So so many times I would sign up other people for accounts and they wanted the exact amount, right? And whenever it was, and so think about it, the price fluctuates, right? So it's you buy Bitcoin and then whenever I had 3-4 times we sent accounts over and we had to wait 2 weeks for the account to get approved. And only not because we sent little money, but we sent over the price, right? So if an account was $560, we would send $570 in USDT Tether or Ethereum, right? And I was like, dude, keep the change. Just give us the account, right? And so in a country where people are really anxious and suspicious, they'd be like, dude, why is it taking so long to open up an account, right? So I saw Fund Trader. And so I always feel I never doubted the payouts in Fund Trader. The reason I didn't doubt it, the first thing that shot up at me, because I've worked in the financial services in the States, I was like, okay, they're out of Texas. That right there is amazing for me, right? Because I know there's major regulation in the States. I can depend on that, right? I'm okay, they're not going to set up a company in the States and then not take people's money or scam people, right? There's actual organizations and authority figures, right, that are going to be yo, you can't do that. They'll shut you down. And then I always believe do business with people right? So I don't know the founders of the Fund Trader, right? But I knew who they were. I didn't know them personally, but I saw on Instagram, I'm yo, these guys got major followings, right? So they build a brand for themselves. They have names out there. I'm they're not going to sit there and scam people out of money, right? Just so they can make a couple of $1,000s because they're already big enough, right? So they want recurring revenue. They want good traders. And so like immediately I was like, I have no worries about withdrawals with them. But then what really won me over about Fund Trader was the customer service and the administration. Like everything is so quick. Like you reach out, they're like, yo, here it is. You reach out, even like every time I've set up somebody, I've never sent the exact amount of crypto, right? I've never had any trouble. Like, oh, you just know, sir, your account will be ready very soon. This is so important. Like, and especially like when you're in financial services, dude, people want their money or their account like right now, right? And so those things for me. And then after that, like everything was good. The 400K account for me, that was great because I want large amounts of money, right? I want to manage big money. That was great. And then when you look at the phases, right? When you have the phases, I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Where you have I think it was the 6%, right, on the drawdowns. Okay. I think it was 6, right? And so I was like, okay, yeah, but pretty much what it was is you got a bigger drawdown and you had to make less money, right? And then you had plenty of time to do it. And so like that for me was good. And then just the way, I'm not even a big Discord fan because like I'm in a lot of groups, but I just like the fact that y'all build a community, right? Like no offense, a lot of the other prop firms, I don't know who these guys are outside of the industry, right? But like I see all chess tournaments. Like, that's cool, man. Like, I like chess. And I see a lot of other people like chess just by like the involvement in there. But so that was like the big thing. But for me here personally, what really set it off in a country with no regulations on finances, I use the certificate. Like right now, the standard in Iraq, if you want to manage money, show us that fund trader certificate, because that tells me you know how to manage risk and you're not going to liquidate all my capital. And so like that really took off. And I don't know, you should check the statistics. Y'all are getting mass volume from Iraq. I guarantee it, because I know everybody. I'll be honest, it got so busy for me after a while. I started telling people to sign themselves up, right? Because a lot of people were, but that's like the biggest thing for me was like, I knew who it was, the terms were awesome, and everything was quick. It was transparent. That was a big changer for me.
All right, awesome. So what I'm gathering from a lot of traders too that I interview here is the kind of common theme here is they truly feel that the funded trader is a prop firm by traders for traders. You can tell that the entire company is made up of traders. So we're in the industry. It's not like these, business guys just trying to make a buck in this new thing called prop firm. Like these actual guys, like you said, you've seen them on social media. They're a public figure. So obviously their face is they're not going to want to like degrade their own brand or their own name if they're publicly saying, hey, this is their prop firm. So a lot of backing behind that. Stoked that you were like, you're part of the game right from the get-go. You're like, yep, this checks all my boxes.
Yeah, it was easy. Like, it was so good. Like, when I saw that, to give you an example, like from being in Kurdistan, literally billions of dollars have been scammed out of this country in the past couple of years through network marketing, through crypto scams. So nothing ever happens, right? So the people are cautious. They're like, man, what do I do? So, but when you get that, like, and it is what it is. When you get that American stamp on it, that is legit. Like I always tell my American friends, I'm like, dude, you don't understand the power of America, right? In Kurdistan, when you say so, I don't care what it is. If it's American, people trust it, period. People trust it, right? And also like, initially, I wasn't seeing any American prop firms. They were in the Czech and they were in Australia. Australia is okay. I'll give them that. But like when I saw Texas, I was like, dude, that's it. Like I knew the company was legit, and it really, because I have a name. So like a lot of times, like when you talk about a certain prop firm, you go out on a limb and you start saying they're going to pay you out, they're going to do this. But with Fund Trader, I could do it, right? I could do it with no pressure because I was like, I'm really like putting all my faith, not just in like the Fund Trader, but in American democracy and laws, right? Like I've seen anything there. Our financial system is really good when it comes to like making sure people are like obedient to consumer demands and consumer needs, and they're not abusing the consumer. So like for me, when I would tell people it's in the States and it's in Texas, it was a game changer. Everybody liked it.
Never thought of it this way, but the traders that get that funded trader certificate you're absolutely right. That's like kind of like that form of entry or that like resume. You're like, listen, I have proof here that I can manage risk and money and keep capital. I can, limit these drawdowns. So that's you're absolutely on the point. This is like a requirement, minimum that you can become a funded trader. So that was a very cool way to think of it. I'd never thought of that.
I just want to just touch on that for a second. When we talk about money management and good traders, right? Look, I have a 500K account, right? I can gamble with it, right? I can gamble with it and maybe turn it into $1 million, right? On one trade, maybe, right? But then eventually I'll liquidate it, right? On the second trade, on the third trade. So it's like, I think as traders get more educated, right? I mean, even if you look at like the past couple of years, it used to be nobody talked about risk to reward, right? It was about, hey, you're going to put 2% of the account into the trade, right? 1%. But now everybody's like risk to reward, right? And it's because people are realizing like at some point, like you can't just enter a trade. You got to know what you're going to get back out of that trade if you actually hit, right? And so it goes to risk management. And I just think prop firms, they're like, okay, you're a trader. Show me you're a trader, right? Even like with the fact that like y'all put the day limits on them, right? Because it's just like I always tell people here when I first came here, I would challenge people. I'm like, okay, let's compare accounts. But I was like, not on one trade. We have to take 100 trades over time. I want to see if your account will still be there while mine is there, right? Because you can get lucky once, you can get lucky twice. But over a long period of time, especially in the markets, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get liquidated.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree completely. Okay, so the next, and we'll say next and last question here is kind of give us a walkthrough of just your day to day as a full-time trader. What time are you waking up? What session are you trading? Are you, looking at the charts all day? What's just a quick overview of just a normal day of your day trading?
Okay, so all my days start with the dollar index. That's just what I learned from ICT. And the reason that is it's the world reserve currency. If we have a bullish dollar, this is risk off, right? When the dollar goes up, everything pretty much comes down. Even if it's going to go up, it's not going to go up like it should when the dollar is going up, right? So my first goal of the day is to try to look at the dollar and analyze what it's going to do for the day. Is there stops up top, or have they hit external liquidity? Are they in a discount or a premium? Discount being like in an area where it's a cheap price to buy, right? Premium being in an area where it's a good price for sell. So I try to look at dollar first, and then right after dollar, I look at Euro GBP, right? Because let's say if dollar's going up, right? Let's say we have a bullish dollar, that means Euro and GBP will come down. But I want to know which one is weaker, right? And you find that out by looking at Euro GBP, right? If Euro GBP is strong and dollar is bullish, I'm selling pound, right? Because Euro is strong and dollars, they're both going to come down to Euro and GBP, but GBP is really going to come down. Believe me, when they hear that, they know what I'm talking about, because there's been many times where dollar is bullish, you sell pound, but it's really pound consolidates and Euro goes down, right?
Okay.
And so I try to find an advantage. And so I first find out what dollar is doing, and then I find out what Euro GBP is doing. I'm looking for buy or sell. And then I'm looking at Asian range, right? Preferably, I want Asian range to be a consolidation between 20 to 30 pips, right? Just a consolidation with the highs, you could clearly see the highs and lows, right? Because these highs and lows will get swept, right? This is just accumulation that's happening. And then my easiest session to trade, right, is London, right? Because London is what ICT calls the Judas swing. It's the false move, right? So if they're planning on taking the market down for the day, what they usually do at a Asian session, they will lure traders long, right? This is where breakout traders will come in, right? Breakout traders will come in. They will go up there, maybe hit yesterday's stops, right? Some high from yesterday or previous week's high. And so people, when they see that, they're like, oh man, it broke market structure. It made a new high. This means we're bullish, right? But instead, what it's really doing is inducing longs, right? Inducing traders to buy at the very top. This is the problem that I see a lot. Traders that lose money tend to sell at the very bottom and buy at the very top, right? And if I profit in London, so this is just my personal experience, I'm lotting up, right? So because I have money that I manage and big accounts, right? So I don't need to take many trades. I have huge positions. What I'll do, if I profit in London, you really got to give me something really convincing for me to get back into New York, right?
Okay.
And then just one last thing on Fridays. And so I tend to not trade Mondays, right? I wait for Mondays to show me if my bias for the week is right? I just want to show what the market is giving me. And then Thursday, New York session to Friday, I'm looking for the reversal. We've had a bullish week. Too many people are in profit. What they tend to do, they tend to spike the high, right? Like it looks like a continuation, and then they'll bring it back down for the week. So that's pretty much what I do. But if I could like sum it up, my whole strategy is I buy and sell above external and internal liquidity at areas of interest that are in premium or discount. I try to make it very simple, right? But I'm always watching fundamentals and seasonal tendencies too, because I think with the situation we're in right now with the United States and inflation, you got to watch CPI. And, the reason I just want to touch on this, I tell a lot of my friends, the reason dollar is so dangerous, right? A bullish dollar, like go on the charts and watch this for yourself. Go on the daily chart. When dollar is coming down, it comes down slow, right? It comes down very slow, retraces. But when it's bullish, it flies, right? So when you get cut, and the whole reason why, yeah, right. And this is why I said when you get caught on the wrong side of the market, right? Like let's say inflation comes out and it's horrible and they're going to raise interest rates. So that means a bullish dollar. If you get caught on the wrong side of that, it's not coming back, right? Like it's not good. You're going to take major losses. So that's why I try to, if you can, I tell people always look at dollar. It is the answer to all of your questions and all of your losses. Believe me.
All right. Fair enough. All right, Meeran, this was incredibly insightful. I would say, is there anything else you want to leave off to our new traders, our funded traders, ones that haven't quite got the payout yet? Any last advice or any shout outs you want to give?
I just want to tell the traders, man, keep trading, dude. Like I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a decade and I wasn't profitable. Like just think about that. I was here for a decade and now my whole life I live making money from the markets. You can too. But I just want you to know it's not going to be easy. And I got to give a shout out to Michael Huddleston, man, because he changed my life for real, for real. But yeah, that's it. I appreciate everything y'all been doing too, by the way. I really think y'all are top of the line for upper echelon.
We really appreciate that. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, drop a comment, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the things. And thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.